Andrew Yang is publicly feuding with MSNBC, and I love it. So part of the problem is MSNBC has been slanted in their coverage against Yang. I don't know if it's been intentional. My read on this is that MSNBC just didn't take him seriously and didn't include him in some of their graphics with poll results because they didn't take him seriously. But they should take him seriously because he does have some interesting things to say, and he's been doing pretty well. I mean, he's not a front runner, but he's been rising in the polls a little bit, and a lot of people are fans of his. So let me tell you what happened. So the last Democratic debate was hosted by MSNBC, and like many of the debates actually, they didn't really go to Andrew Yang often. And so Andrew Yang decided to throw MSNBC under the bus while doing an interview with Wolf Blitzer on CNN. Take a look.
Let's talk about that Democratic presidential debate in Atlanta last night. It went on for more than 2 hours. You only got to speak for, and we did some checking, you can see over there, about six and a half minutes or so. That's probably half that some of the other candidates got. Do you think that was fair?
You know, Wolf, all I can say is I miss CNN moderating these debates.
You got some of that supporters behind you, clearly.
No, I mean, they saw it last night too. I mean, America saw it. I went 32 minutes without a question, and I was raising my hands trying to get a word in edgewise during that time. So when you all moderated the debate, it was straight up the middle, it was professional. We got real substantive topics like the wealth tax, like Bernie's jobs guarantee, what our vision for the country is moving forward. Whereas last night, I felt like I certainly had a lot more to say and a lot more to offer.
Is Wolf Blitzer alive or awake during these segments? Like, I believe it looks like you have some supporters behind you. Like, yeah. Did you not realize that before when they were just holding signs saying, that they support him? Like, what? Anyway, sorry, I know that that's beside the point, but
no.
Look at him, no reaction. He's like, it's like he's asleep. It's amazing.
No, so with Wolf, like if you noticed when he said I prefer debates on CNN, and Wolf was like,
He did like a very like subtle, expression.
And I think that's why he gave like an awkward follow-up because he didn't know what to say. Like if it was me, I'd be like, yeah, booyah, better on TYD, that's right. But that's not who Wolf is.
Yeah, my producers didn't brief me on this. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
Yeah, so the other day he actually, for the first time ever, gave a tiny little editorial, Wolf Blitzer did, about immigration, but it was actually powerful.
Really?
He talked about how his parents' families escaped the Holocaust, and that's why we need to be open to immigrants. And I thought, Wolf, that's it. Why haven't you been doing that for 20 years? That's way, way better, 100%,
right? 100%, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, but the reason he's on air is because people want emotionless, not actual human beings, not the audience. The executives want, and the advertisers want emotionless, bland people on air. If he'd been that Wolf Blitzer giving the passionate speech about immigration, he wouldn't have been on air, right? He wouldn't. That's right. He wouldn't be on air. But back to Yang.
Yeah.
So, look, guys, we were the first show to have Andrew Yang on nationally. And we believe in outsiders. It doesn't mean that we agree with everything that Andrew stands for. And we have slight differences on some of his policies and then wholeheartedly agree on other policies.
I do not have slight differences, I'm just making that clear.
Okay, you have larger differences with universal basic income. But I love his democracy dollars. I think that it was groundbreaking. It was out there way before anybody else was and pushed the entire field to a more progressive position on money in politics. So, and I said, look, real people like outsiders. And the media will not give him any attention, but he'll rise anyway. And at the time, he might have been polling at number 20 or something. There was a field of 27 people at one point. And I said he would rise to number 6. Now, I'm telling you this not just to brag, but yeah, a little bit to brag. He rose to number 6 and stayed there. He's been at number 6 for months now, right? So why did I think he was going to that position? I knew the top 5 and I knew that it was hard to break into the top 5, but the others offered nothing interesting, nothing new. Whereas Andrew had a real, initiative and real plans and real policies, whether you agree or disagree, right? And so, but the insiders on cable news And especially at MSNBC, where it's the Democratic Party establishment that completely rules that channel. They hate outsiders. They can't stand them. So everything about Andrew Yang is a turnoff. They're like, oh, this is gonna hurt the Democratic Party. Actually, like doing something interesting and different and thoughtful, it's gonna hurt. No, let's go back to bland and boring.
I just don't think they took him seriously, which I think is always a mistake.
And that is part of what I mean by they can't stand outsiders. They think like outsiders by definition are illegitimate. But what they're missing is the whole audience is outsiders. We're not sitting in the middle of Washington in the halls of power, right? But they think that their audience is Steve Schmidt and Bill Kristol, and right, and these Beltway people. And what will Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer say? Who cares what they say?
Right,
but they do. They're obsessed with it. And I got news for you: Schumer and Pelosi are not big fans of Andrew Yang.
Of course, that's unsurprising. But Yang didn't stop the feud there. In fact, MSNBC tried to get him on, to do an interview, and he rejected them very publicly. So on Twitter, he wrote, was just asked to appear on MSNBC this weekend and told them I'd be happy to, after they apologize on air, discuss and include our campaign consistent with our polling and allow surrogates from our campaign as they do other candidates. They think we need them, we don't. Look, I gotta say, that last line is so good. It's so good. It's like what I dream about. Yeah. It's the stuff I dream about, okay? Yeah. Those moments where like people in the gatekeepers, right? They come groveling like, oh, it turns out that you do have some support. We need you, come do an interview. And you can just be like, tell me how my ass tastes.
Okay, well that's one way to go.
I just love it, I live for it. So good for Andrew Yang with that last line.
Okay, here. I'll make another prediction. When a progressive becomes president of the United States, which will be very soon, MSNBC will go, yeah, we meant progressives. Of course, power precious. We meant progressives.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, but you didn't have any progressives on. What happened? All of a sudden you mean progressives? No, you never meant it. You know how many times they left Andrew Yang out of polling where he was polling higher than the people they showed in their graphics? 12 times. So they just skip right over him. Yeah. They'd be like, okay, and here's Biden and Sanders and Buttigieg and Klobuchar. You're like, wait, I know Yang's higher than Klobuchar. And a lot of times he was higher than Buttigieg. They're like, nope, he doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. Outsider alert. So I love what Andrew did there. It was a Yankster move.
And you're about to see the one final Yankster move in this whole saga because he goes after MSNBC on CNN again. Take a look.
What exactly do you want an apology for?
Well, Anna, Americans tuned in to the debate earlier this week, and they saw that I got called on less than any other candidate, including candidates that I'm polling higher than. And the questions I did get had virtually nothing to do with the core ideas of my campaign.
Yeah. Look, it's indisputable. You saw the graphic that Wolf Blitzer put up. I mean, he got less airtime than almost everyone that he was polling better than that. And then on Buttigieg got twice as much time, 12 minutes and 44 seconds versus 6 minutes and 43 seconds.
Yeah.
That's unreal. And you think that doesn't, look, a 30-second ad on these channels costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you got an extra 6 minutes in a debate, that's worth millions of dollars. So it's not just theoretical or a hypothetical problem. It's a very real practical and financial advantage that they hand the establishment. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.